Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Seco Sandlot. We have three very special guests joining us today. They were supposed to be playing for the Arroyo Seco baseball team this year, but unfortunately, COVID had other plans. We'd like to welcome Bo Willis from Weatherford College, Morgan Island from St. Edward's University, and of course, Jeff Wilson. He's driving, but he's with us. He's from University of Louisiana Lafayette. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Well, as I said, you guys were supposed to play this year, and it's such a bummer that your season got cut short. And man, I was really looking forward to getting in the broadcast booth and calling some games for you guys. Zach was as well. We were both supposed to be on the broadcast team, shifted over to the podcast. But I was wondering, were you guys excited to play for the Saints this year? How did you find the Saints? Was there a buddy that you were going to play with? How was that process, learning that, you were going to play and then not play? We can start.
For me,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. For me, I was informed that I would play with the Saints by our pitching coach, Coach Gardner, and I was going to come up there with two of our freshman pitchers. So I was really looking forward to finally catch them because for me at Tech, I was more of one of the long-term catcher because I was with Nate and Bryce at Fulford. But yeah, I was really excited to play this summer. But yeah, to be on the field and actually learn the pitchers and catch them more than bullpens and flat grounds, I believe would have been way more beneficial. But things happen that out of your control, and I love playing in that area. California is one of my favorite places to play from events in high school. And, yeah, it's just yeah.
Yeah, Cali, baby. Are you from California originally?
No, I've just played there a couple times, and I love visiting there.
Really like it. Nice. What about you, Morgan? What drew you to the Saints, and what were you feeling when you found out you can play?
Well, I played last year for the Saints in 2019, I think. Yeah, I played in 2019 for the Saints, and I kind of just got hooked up there from our assistant coach here at St. Edward's. He was like trying to find me a place to play, and just said that I was going out to California, and so then I was like, why would I not want to go to California for summer, right? Being LA basically, and the beaches and everything, and I'd never been to LA before, and it was a great experience last year. We made it to the championship for the CCL, and we played a lot, and we had really good guys on the team. We had a bunch of kids from SEC schools, Vanderbilt and Tennessee, and it was fun, and it was a good time. And so I wanted to come back this next year and just have the same amount of fun and work hard. The coaches are very lax, but very serious about winning and stuff like that. But we can have fun and mess around, and that's kind of what summer ball's about. Is getting better individually, and I feel like I got a lot better the summer before, so that's kind of what I wanted to do this summer as well. And I was bummed when it got canceled. I figured it would get canceled since the entire world was shutting down in California. It's kind of a hot spot, but it was tough when it did get canceled to not get to go out there. But I feel like there was also beneficial sides to it, getting to hang out with my family more and, get to have some rest from baseball to where my body can recuperate, going into my junior season this year and just getting ready for season at St. Edward's. So.
For sure. Yeah. Winning the championship or almost winning the championship last year, that's a pretty good incentive to come back for this year and be hungry and want to, try to win it all again this year. And I'm glad that you spoke to the coaches, because everyone who's come on the podcast who's played for the Saints has said that the coaches were basically how you described them, very lax, allowed you to work on your game, but also had the fire to win. And that's really, something that you want at this level during the summer. And that's why the CCL is such a great league. And that's why it's continued to do so well over the years. And both of you guys are talking about the weather out here. I don't know. It's like over 100 degrees recently in Arcadia right now, and I've been feeling it. So maybe it's a little bit of a blessing that you guys didn't have to come out and deal with this heat, man. It's hot. It's hot, man. What about you, Jeff? What were you looking forward to, man? And how did you feel when it got cut out?
I just wanted to play. For me, I love competing and I love pitching. And to me, it wasn't as much where, it was just where I was going to get the chance to play at a high level. And my coach set it up and told me that CCL was a really good league with a lot of talent. So I was just ready to get out there and see what I could do against good players. And I mean, things happen. You just worry what you can control and work on what you can work on. And so I've just kind of been trying to stay in shape since then. But it sounded like it was going to be a really good summer for me.
You brought up a good point, Jeff. You know, staying in shape is something that's really key right now during COVID. And Morgan, you were talking a little bit about, you know, trying to work on your game as well, since, you know, that you didn't have a season now with the Saints this time around. And there is a question to be asked here. You know, how are you guys dealing with the COVID season? How are you guys staying in shape and doing your thing right now?
For me, I've been blessed with having to have a place to work out, and I work at a place called DST, and we have a few locations around Houston. And there's a bunch of college guys my age who are, some are in Ivy League, some are in, you know, junior colleges or mid majors, and then there's also a good amount of minor leaguers, and you know, you'll have your handful of people that have been in the major leagues and major leaguers. And I've been blessed with having the opportunity to work out with other college kids and hit against some minor league pitching and college pitching, and even blessed enough to catch a major leaguer or two. And the most notable is I've caught Scott Kazmir like twice, and I feel extremely blessed to do that.
How was that? Were you
yeah, it's like the last guy I thought would be there at that place. But yeah, that place, you know, has everything I need to stay in shape until the next season.
Nice.
I'm really grateful for it.
That's key, man. What about you, Morgan?
Well, I'm lucky in a sense because I have two brothers. My younger one is going into senior high school, and he plays baseball as well. So anything as far as throwing and hitting during like quarantine and stuff, I was able to do with him. And then my older brother, he just so happens to be a personal trainer, so he was able to help. We didn't have like a weight set or anything, but he could come up with effective lifts and like running type stuff to stay in shape throughout the entire summer. So that was good for me to have them as a tool to get better over the summer.
Very nice. What about you, Jeff?
I got kind of lucky. My dad is like really supportive of me and my baseball. And so as soon as everything started getting shut down, he went out and bought a weight rack and some weights for me. So I was able to spend my time doing that. I found a team to play with for a little bit, and just got like 20 innings or so on the mound just to kind of keep my arm going. But it's really, I just got lucky, and my dad was really out there to support me and really help me out by getting me that weight rack so I could, I mean, you can do body weight lifts, but there's nothing like some nice iron weight going up and down on your squats and everything. So it was nice to have that. It just had to stay busy and just keep working no matter what. So it was good for me just being able to have that.
Awesome. So my first question and our next question is, obviously y'all come from a wide background, whether it be D1 or JUCO or something in between. And we all know that the COVID-19 pandemic has been an absolutely brutal encounter for collegiate sports. So what do you think, if you had to make your best guess, is the future of college baseball? And I'll start with you, Bo. How is this going to affect college baseball? What is going to change? What stays the same?
It's, it's obviously a huge dent in it because you got if I'm correct, they had everyone like gave the year back. Like if you didn't get drafted, the seniors can come back and have the year of eligibility.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then you have that, and then you have the freshmen coming in from high school, and you have maxed out rosters in the fall, and they're a lot more than they should be. So, that could cost the colleges money. And as the season goes, that's also hard to tell because you have fall sports being moved to spring, and it's just kind of in a limbo for baseball right now because we're just before fall season. And for junior colleges, and you play other people, and I don't know if we'll allow anyone in the stands yet, but so far for us, everything's kind of normal. We have to take tests, like a symptom test before every time we go to practice, every time we go to a class, and they're going to take like extreme precautions. They advise us to stay on campus. If we show any signs, we're immediately detained, or not detained, just contained, I guess, and treated for. But as the year goes on, and this thing might get worse or stay the same or maybe even get better. It's just hard to tell. And it's so early, I guess, for me.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a best guess sort of thing. Nobody
Yeah.
actually knows, but Morgan, I'm curious if you feel the same way, if you feel different.
No, yeah, I do. I go to D2, and at St. Ed's we have a third assistant coach, so we have to have a JV team basically. So like to get a third assistant at D2, you have to have like a certain amount of guys to have a JV team. So we actually have more guys than a normal team would have, and then we have the rollover of like seniors. So I feel like for my area, plus I mean St. Edwards is in downtown Austin, so like Austin, Texas. So like it's pretty bad here. I would say like the cases are pretty high here. So I feel like it's gonna affect us a lot. I know that my conference, like the reason we're struggling a lot is because my conference is like all of Texas, all of New Mexico, and some Oklahoma teams. And so you'll have like my team in downtown Austin where the cases are super high. You know, we have like 1,000 a day, but then we play like Angelo State University, which is in San Angelo, Texas, which it has like one case maybe. So like how does it affect people if like we're going to San Angelo, right, and staying hotels there, you know, and we could be like a cluster of like 40 people who like might have it or whatever, since we're from a bigger city, you know, just stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it's all up in the air. I just think it's going to take a while to figure out and get the logistics of it down for sure. So hopefully we can get it figured out by spring so that we can have a spring season this year.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, Jeff.
Still with us, Jeff?
Jeff, you still with us?
It just got through.
There we go.
So I see two different aspects of this. The level of competition, I think, is going to take a big step up, because now you now have 5 classes of players competing for 4 levels of spots, basically. So I think you're going to see a huge uptick in competition, especially among junior college baseball, because a lot of those incoming freshmen may not get as much play time as they would have had originally. So I think you'll see a lot of younger guys head on the junior college route, make junior college real special this year. And I think another big deal is money. A lot of these teams just can't operate without fans in the stands. So I think it's going to be hard, especially to keep a bunch of COVID policies in place and do all the testing if you don't have any source of income. So I'm really hoping some sort of vaccine or something comes out soon to where it'll be a lot cheaper so a lot of these programs can stay up and running.
I'm hoping that vaccine comes out soon too, Jeff. I don't know. What do you think, Zach? I hope it comes.
Fingers crossed. I went to Walmart, got my flu shot yesterday, and I was sitting there and thinking to myself, I wish I could get a COVID shot too.
There we go. Well, as we talked about last week, Trevor Lawrence, is taking a stand right now, and he's trying to form unions, and we talked about college athletes getting paid during this whole COVID season and just overall in general. So I was wondering, Bo and Morgan and Jeff, if you guys think that you should be compensated at all, and what that means for forming a union for you guys.
For me, as a freshman last year at Texas Tech, I was on scholarship. They gave me money. They gave me per diem on the road for food, and I could do with that money. And for me, money isn't a huge problem. I don't like spending it. I just like keeping it and see how much I can have, I guess. And and when we'd get that per diem, I'd hate spending it. I'd like spend it on as little as possible. And I come home and through all this, I've been able to, coach its 17-8U team, help out with that, give some lessons, word to mouth. It's, some family friends will give me some money if, I teach them what I was taught at Tech. And, we can't be advertised or anything. We're not allowed to post about it, but that's why I keep it real close to family ties and stuff. But for me, money has never been a huge thing. For guys like Trevor Lawrence, I can see why he can. He's a huge name. Everyone who knows about college football knows about Trevor Lawrence. Mm-hmm. So I guess he obviously would feel differently about this. But since I'm kind of new to the game and I haven't played a ton of college baseball, it doesn't matter as much to me as it will for others, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. Over to you, Morgan. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I agree with that. His analysis on that. I mean, for me, at a D2, I mean, my school especially, we don't charge for like fans at games. It's all university ran as far as like you can get in the games for free. It's not like it's like a cost. I mean, for me, I guess I don't see anything like that as far as, we should get money for their using our names. But like you said, like Trevor Lawrence, Clemson's probably making, millions, maybe hundreds of millions of dollars off of him, and him playing good and them winning championships. So maybe there's something to be said there. But I don't feel like I have any personal ties to it necessarily, to where it has a lot of effect on me. And like you said, we get per diem and stuff on the road. And, if you spend your money right, a lot of times you can save like $30 or $40, and I mean, it just, yeah, I mean, there's chances to get stuff like that. But I mean, I don't feel like it's as important to us as it would be to, Trevor Lawrence or a bigger name like that.
I would agree with that, Morgan, and Bo, I agree with your point as well. At the same time, I still think that you may not be bringing in the same money that Trevor Lawrence is, and you're not from a Clemson or anything like that. But at the same time, you're still contributing to bringing in money for the school. One, it's a sport at the school. And, two, you guys aren't getting jobs. We talked about this a couple weeks back with Bryce and JT. You guys, this is your job in college right now. So you have to make money from this in a way. And I think that you should be compensated at least, a per diem a week, no matter if you're playing away or at home. So I think that that's something that should be considered. And I know I didn't allow you guys to elaborate more on that. You can afterward. But Jeff, what do you feel on getting paid and what I just said about everything?
I think the big deal with it is it's hard to determine who deserves what kind and how much money. But I feel like the bigger issue is everyone thinks that everybody gets a full ride in college, and that's just not true in baseball. In football, yes, every player gets a scholarship, a full one, and whatever. But in baseball, you have a lot of people who, even though they're on scholarship, they still have to pay money to attend the school, and you got a lot of walk-ons in baseball who have to float the whole bill. So I would love to just see more scholarship money, because that's a much simpler thing, I feel like, than getting paid for likeness and image and all that. But the 11.7 scholarships in baseball is pretty tough, because there's a lot of people who make decisions not based on the school they love, but the school that they can afford to go to. And you don't see that in other sports. So
something I definitely thought about, and this came up, of course, in between our last podcast and now, is I believe it was LSU where someone reported that LSU would lose up to $80 million in revenue if football season was canceled. And the first thought that came to mind for me, I was like, oh, so LSU football players are worth $80 million. That's good to know. Like, I really do believe that if you are already balancing the amount of time it takes to be a college student with playing sports, you should be compensated for it as you are bringing in additional revenue to the university. But then again, I don't run the NCAA, so it's not my choice.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, if your athletes weren't good, you wouldn't bring in as much money than if they were, making plays every day, making the crowd go crazy and people want to come see it. But yeah, with that, I agree with that logic. Like, you bring in money, they can't, I bet there's some way financially you can find a way to divide that up or make sure, some goes to the school, some goes to the university, or some goes to the university, some goes to the team. And, you can make the staff, you can make some go to the players if you're making $80 million a season.
I agree.
Any last thoughts on that, Morgan? Pretty much agree? You good?
Yeah, I agree. I think I like what Jeff said about like adding more scholarships, instead, obviously I think that'd be a great thing to do. I mean, being able to like move that money towards more scholarships would definitely help a lot of people and create more options for people going to schools and I had plenty of friends in high school go play college football, and they get the full scholarship, and a lot of times they get stipends too. So like they'll get like $1,000 a semester just for going to the school, a full ride would give you. So like that, I mean, in a sense, that's extra money there. But like anybody in baseball, college baseball doesn't get the full scholarship. They get part academic scholarship, part baseball scholarship, and sometimes still have to pay more money. So. Yeah, I think that's a smart idea there, is to add more scholarships for sure.
I've got one more idea or a little tidbit. It seems like if you require athletes to go to college and you don't give them an opportunity to be paid, that seems a little unjust, especially if you're making them stay 2 or 3 years at that college. So it seems like if you're gonna force them to go to school, like for example in basketball and football, you're required to go to college before getting drafted. It's like you're not allowing them to make money when they could be making money playing professionally. Like that's why you see all these college basketball players that instead of going to college, they go overseas to play because they can make money there. So it seems a little odd that you would force them to play college but then not give them any money. So that's just another idea I thought of.
It does, Jeff. Yeah, that's a great idea. You came up with 2 so far. Maybe the NCAA should take some advice from you, man. And I think that's great that you've been thinking about it. On a little bit of a lighter note, I was trying to go through social media the other day and find some, people that have been keeping up in COVID and staying motivated. And I don't know if any of you guys have been doing the same thing, trying to find like if there's a role model right now that you've been following through all of this. And, if you picked up anything from them, any new hobbies, I know a lot of you guys, if not all of you, are from Texas. So I don't know if you've been hitting Top Golf or anything like that. So Bo, we'll go over to you, man. Like, what have you been doing on any following or picking anything up?
I hit my first round of 18 golf yesterday, 2 days ago, and I had the blessing of hitting it at Carlton Woods, and being at such a prestigious place, hitting your first round of 18 is something else.
Yeah.
But as the year goes on, I'll probably try and pick up that hobby of going a lot more to the golfing range, but immediately after going to the batting cage, so I don't lose anything or mess anything up, because that's a huge superstition with hitters and golfing. That'll mess everything up if you get too good at golfing. But yeah, my dad's huge about that.
Yeah.
But I've been following my friend. He's with the Blue Jays organization. Me and him were a pitching catching duo out of high school, and he works out with me at the place I go to in Tomball, Texas. And I try to keep up with him. I try to make more of a schedule. We had college workouts four times a week, so it was a good routine for me weekly. But other than working out, coaching, just staying at home, having the blessing of actually watching baseball for a change has been nice. I've been trying to study the game more while I'm here, at least. And this last week, I've just been waiting to pack in, waiting to go to junior college finally. I'm really excited.
Congrats again, man. And how do you feel, Morgan, going through everything, and who have you been following on social media? And
so I guess in quarantine I was playing a lot of video games. So I've been following video game people. I guess if that's the question you're asking.
We got some Warzone in there, Morgan.
Yeah, I play a little Warzone. I watch a little Nick Merckx, Tim the Tap Man.
Nick Merckx, yes.
Yeah.
I got some content I would like to share, but I don't think we're allowed to on this podcast, man. So
yeah, that's kind of what I've been watching, and then I've been into fishing, and my dad's really into fly fishing, so I've been looking a lot at that and keeping up with that. And Austin's a great place to fish, and there's a lot of creeks and springs out here where you can go and catch some good fish. So I've been looking a lot at that, and that's kind of been my summer, video games and fishing.
There we go.
Not a bad way to spend a summer.
Yeah,
it's a good life, man. Jeff, anything for you, man? What have you been doing? Any role models that you've been following, or anything that you've been doing to keep them busy?
I had a summer class that I kind of had to keep up with, so that kind of killed some time. And I played a lot of golf with some of my friends and a lot of video games. And just staying busy. I watch my Rangers almost every night. Watch them just get beat more than half the time. It's kind of sad, but hopefully they can reel off a little win streak here pretty soon and sneak in there with the expanded playoffs this year. But at least I can keep up with sports now that NBA and MLB is going on. I can watch all that and kind of stay entertained.
Yeah, give some love to the NHL too. Playoffs are going on over there, and I what's it called? Gotta give some love to Warzone. Maybe we can all get together after this and link up. It'll be fun to do that as well, and that's something that I've been itching to do. And
I have never played Warzone in my life.
I feel your pain on the Rangers, man. I'm an Angels fan, and losing the Giants, that hurt. But Zach, he's a happy Yankees fan most of the time, so he has no room to talk about the woes of his season right now.
No, I don't. But bringing up the Rangers brings up my next question. This is it feels good to ask a baseball question that's not related to COVID. Fernando Tatis, 3-0 count, hits a grand slam, blows the game open a couple nights ago. Do you guys believe in the unwritten rules of baseball that he shouldn't have swung at that pitch, or especially shouldn't have swung for the fences? Look, if you don't want one of the best young players in baseball to hit a grand slam off you, maybe you shouldn't throw that pitch. That's my personal view, but I'm curious to hear if y'all who actually play the sport have a different view. So, Bo.
Well, for me, I would have done the same thing, but this past year I've heard more and more times we got the 3-0 green light at Tech. Tadlock had his 3-0 green light because we were a hitting lineup, and if they were going to groove one, why not hit it if we can hit it at 500 feet? And even talking to pitchers, they said 3-0, 3-1 count, I'm going to throw you something, but it's not going to be straight. It'll be a two-seam sinker, something like that, but it's also something they can get in the zone and try and come back at the count in. So, and I also knew a kid out of high school, went to the Blue Jays organization. His name was Jordan Groshans. He went 12th overall in the 2019 draft. And his first at-bat in the instructional league was a grand slam 3-0 count. So for me, I guess nowadays if I see it, and I think I can drive it hard, no matter what count it is, I'm definitely going to swing at it, unless it's situational, obviously. Like, it depends on the situation, I guess. If it's like late in the game and we're down and it's close and we need base runners, I'm probably not going to swing at it 9 times out of 10.
All right, Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think that as a player, I mean, when you're out there, you're trying to beat that guy, you know, whether it's, you know, 2-1, 1-0, or 3-0. I mean, at all times, you're trying to beat that guy. And, you know, I'm sure if I was in that situation, I wouldn't even have thought to take that pitch. You know, if I'm thinking to myself 3-0, you know, if he's going to put it where I want to hit it, I'm going to hit it, you know. When we were playing in California, in 2019, we were at the Foresters, and we were, you know, it was later in the game, you know, and it was 3-0, and we finally had base runners, and they were telling, and our assistant coach, he coaches for the Dodgers now, Brady Conlon. He told me, you know, I mean, even though it's 3-0 and I don't want you to take, you know, it's about, you know, hitting balls and stuff, and it was 3-0 and I hit a home run. So I mean, there's that chance there, you know, that you can hit a home run, you know, whether it's 3-0 or whatever, and I feel like that decision of taking has to come from a coach. You know, if the coach feels like it's important to take that pitch, you know, for the sake of the other team, then sure, I feel like that's fine, you know, and the coaches see that. But as a player, you're so like locked in. I wouldn't even think you would notice it or realize it. I feel like the other two guys can agree with me. Like, you know, when you're playing, you don't realize that stuff a lot of the times. You know, you're so locked in on hitting the pitch and staying focused on, you know, beating that pitcher and, you know, doing whatever that job is at that at bat, that you don't even realize stuff like that.
And Jeff, last but not least.
I mean, as a pitcher, I just wouldn't like giving up home runs in general. But I mean, it was only a 7-run game is the thing. Like, 2 innings, 7 runs, like that's not impossible. So, and that what you're kind of taught as a player is you don't ease up and take your foot off the gas pedal. Like, you bury teams and give them absolutely no hope. And I mean, it kind of sucks because I mean, you're down 3-0 and you're not just going to get a give me against the arguably the hottest hitter in baseball right now. So it was kind of a tough spot. I don't blame Tatis for swinging at it. I mean, it's a fastball, and you're trying to put the other team in the dirt. He did it. So I think the Rangers might have just been just as frustrated being down 11 more than it was an unwritten baseball rule, so to speak. I mean, if back when I used to hit, I mean, I didn't care if I saw a pitch to hit, I wanted to hit. Like, it is what it is. I feel like the Rangers could have prevented that by just not being down 7 and not getting behind 3-0 to arguably the best guy in baseball right now. So if I was pitching, I probably wouldn't be too happy just because it's a home run more than it was the situation. So I think they kind of overreacted.
I mean, I hate to be this guy, but like a 7-run lead isn't that hard to blow. Just ask any Mets fan.
Yeah, for me, I think it's just the 3-0 and the 3-1 mindset are just starting to be the same thing as a hitter nowadays. And this last year, it's just 3-0, 3-1. He's going to should probably try and put some in the zone. So,
right.
as a hitter.
Why hasn't 3-0 been known as the hitter's count as well? I mean, you got no strikes on you. You can't lose in this situation.
Yeah.
So
I guess when you're coming up in high school and summer ball, it's just your coach doesn't trust you that much because when you pop up on a 3-0 count, you don't look very smart.
That's also very true. And I think that they're playing it too safe. But as Jeff was saying, in a lot of these cases now, people aren't trying to be safe to keep the lead. They're trying to play to extend them.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's how, a lot of people are playing in all sports right now. And that's how it's gotten so exciting. We're seeing these blowouts and these big games now in baseball. And it's great to see, the Yankees games, the Phillies games, sometimes the Rockies even lately have been putting up outrageous numbers, and the Dodgers as always with their bats. So it's been really fun to watch. And as you've all been saying, it's just been fun to kick back and finally study the game of baseball. I feel like I haven't been able to do this since honestly since I was a young kid, just going to the ball games with my dad and really studying the game and understanding everything. And Zach, I don't know, how do you feel about everything, man? I want to get your take on this as well.
I mean, look, I'm a baseball nerd at heart. Like, I've struck up conversations in airports with guys over like sabermetrics and whatnot. Like, I love the game of baseball almost as like a religious experience. But like these games, I mean, the quality of the play has been good. It's been Major League Baseball. And yeah, I would agree. I've been able to focus on it more, of course, as a lifelong third generation Yankees fan. It's been an enjoyable season, but usually in the past, I don't get into like watching every game every night until the playoffs. And now it's a 60 game sprint. Every game means something. You sit back and you enjoy 9 innings or 7 innings, I guess, if you're playing a doubleheader. But I have to admit, of course, and yet again, my team has Garrett Cole, but I think baseball this year has exceeded my expectations.
60 games, it's interesting. Who knows if they're going to start implementing that? It seems that it's a lot more exciting, at least for, the common fan, because you don't have to deal with 100 more games on top of it. It's just 60 games, every game counts, and it's going to be interesting to see if they, instead of going back to the original schedule, extend the baseball season and do a series every weekend. And that could be the new baseball schedule as well. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on from there. And I just wanted to get any final thoughts from you guys, unless Zach, did you have another question for him?
That's it. Honestly, I was just nervously waiting to see if you'd steal the Tatis question first, but
any final thoughts from you guys, Bo, Morgan, Jeff?
I'm good.
All good.
Yeah, good.
Thank you so much for joining us at the Seco Sandlot. It's been awesome, man. Zach, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Thanks for coming. We appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, thank guys.
Guys.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys for having us.
And hopefully, I don't know what you guys' plan are for the future, but we're hoping to see you in 2021.
I'm trying to be here, so appreciate it.
Anytime, Jeff. Yeah, you're coming in a little laggy, but we got you there at the end. And I appreciate, hopefully you guys will come back for the 2021 season, and we'll get connected then. Zach, I'm sure we'll still be there. We'll be broadcasting in the summer.
Crossed. All right.
We'll get some Warzone going or something. All right,
y'all got to get me into that.
Take care, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.